Yeah, really exciting opportunity with Arkansas and Rice coming to town. Arkansas and Rice playing each other on Saturday morning, and then us playing Arkansas Saturday evening, and then turn around and playing Rice the next morning. It's a really fun weekend. A lot of opportunity, a lot of great tennis, a lot of great opportunity for us to see where our guys are as we come back from the break. So it's a great opening weekend for us as far as just finding where our level is and seeing a couple of probably top 50 teams in the country.
You guys are coming off of a good spring season last year, good spring campaign, finishing second in the conference. How do you carry some of that momentum through the fall and now into this spring season?
Yeah, the guys were extremely motivated off of last year, how it ended. Partially because it was really good success in how we finished, but also a little bit heartbreaking in how it ended. So they kind of felt that and really focused on that. I mean, that was their focus all summer and all fall, was to prepare themselves to take the next step this year in the program. So the guys are very self-motivated, very locked in mentally. Every day in practice is a battle with each other, and that's how we're going to make sure we're in the right place come April.
Talk about some of that valuable experience. Most of the team returning, pretty much all of the top 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how that can translate and help as you grow and shift this program.
This is by far the oldest team we've had since I've been here. We're going to have mainly upperclassmen, headlined by Sam, who's a 5th-year guy. So it's going to be a very experienced team. Most of these guys have over 100 collegiate matches under their belt. So they know what it means, what the work is, what it looks like to play against these schools. Nothing's going to surprise this group because they've already been through everything. That in itself is massive. You're not worried about, are they going to be prepared for this? Do they know how to take care of their bodies after a long road trip? Do they make sure they're getting enough sleep? Are they going to class? Like, these guys have already been through it and shown that they're capable of doing it. So for them, it's just a matter of taking that next step.
Well, speaking of Sam, just describe to me about his experience, his overall leadership, and the way that he's gonna command, this group, knowing that he's you could say the most senior of them all.
I mean, Sam's been here as long as I have. He is our team leader. He's been through it all. He's been through the rough years. He's had rough years personally on himself. He's gone through injuries, season-ending injuries. He is the guy who he's the guy on the team who everybody looks to. He practices on court 1 every day, right? He works as hard, if not harder, than everybody else on the team constantly. So having a guy like him is easy because he's going to show what needs to be done, and then you either follow or you get left behind. That's kind of where he's done a great job of over the last 2 years. And he's maybe not the loudest guy. He's more reserved, but he's a guy who the guys just follow, and that's the best part about him. And it's easy. He's an easy guy to coach, easy guy to be around. Very intelligent guy. So he's just an easy leader to have on the team.
You mentioned, he had a battle through some certain stuff, also an injury that kind of affected, his performance, but was able to bounce back. Just talk about his resiliency and the way that his mental focus and mental, toughness to battle all of that and, accumulating accolades and being one of your best players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a guy who, when he got here, the physical tools were there. 6'3", athletic, all the tools were there. It was the mental side that came and really changed him. And sometimes you have to go through those things. You got to go through a season-ending injury. You got to go through tough losses and losing streaks and things like that. And that's what has allowed him to really become, a true rock for the team. We know what we're getting from him every day in practice, in matches. He's always the guy who's locked in. He's always the guy who's pulling a guy who maybe's faded off a little bit, But he's also, because he's been through those things, the best part about that is anybody can come to him and say, what do I do? He's already done it. figured it out, made the mistake, done things right. So, no, I mean, the mental side of him, how strong he is mentally dealing with those issues, choosing to come back for the 5th year. He didn't have to come back. You ask him what he wants, he just goes, that. Like we just did that yesterday. We asked the whole team goals. He got to Sam, just point at his hand. That's all he wants.
Awesome, man. My last one on Sam is just, obviously you mentioned that he started with you when you came, to the program. Just describe to me his overall growth, just not just as a player, but also as a person.
Yeah, he was a young 18-year-old kid when he got here. The guy who got here, in 21, and the guy who's here now, light years. We're very proud of what he's done, who he is, what he's going to accomplish once he leaves. He's just a guy who's going to be hard to replace. Where we are as a team is because of him.
Talk about that tandem at the 1-2 spot for you.
Yeah, I mean, Evo is such a talented guy. He oozes his talent when you watch him play. Tons of power, good athlete, very smart kid, understands the sport very, very well. Having those 2 top guys at the top, maybe 2 of the most talented guys in the conference, really helps us in the sense that, we know at the top end of our lineup, we're going to compete with anybody really in the country. These guys have not just competed well against the Southland Conference. We've seen these guys, push and beat top players all across the country against ranked teams and stuff like that. These guys have wins over guys like TCU, SMU, Texas Tech. They've been in 3-set battles with guys from Texas and A&M and things like that. These guys know how to play at the top end, and it really pulls the rest of our guys up because those guys in practice, that's who they're competing against in their brains. They're competing against the guy from Texas. So if you're, the 6th or 7th guy on our lineup and you're in a hit session with Evo, you better be ready because he's going to treat you like you're trying to beat him. And that really just elevates the whole practice, having those 2 guys at 1A, 1B basically is how we view them. We know that if we see a matchup that we like, maybe we can flip them, and there's really nothing that can be done. Those 2 guys really are the top 2 players.
Talk about the importance of having the youth clinic kind of right before the match, bringing the synergy, taking advantage of a great opportunity, not just to watch a great match, but to learn from your program and the women's tennis program as well.
Yeah. We're excited to have that clinic because that's going to be a lot of fun to bring out kids, let them see and be on court with these guys who are going to go compete with Arkansas just 30 minutes later, right? You get an opportunity to be on court, talk to them, and then from there walk straight over and watch them what their warm up looks like, what it looks like to compete at that level, and be 15 feet away from them while they're doing that. It's a really fun opportunity for those, and hopefully it's motivating for some kids as well that you put in the work, look where you can be if you stay focused and things like that, because that's the biggest thing these guys have is focus and intensity, and that's the big thing. So yeah, we're excited to have this clinic because it's going to allow people to come out and see and support, but also allow us to kind of give back and support them as well.
Yeah, and the last one, both you and Wes have always prioritize going out to Cameron County, trying to do an initiative every year. How important is it to not just have a match like this, but be able to host it in Harlingen, do the clinic over there in Cameron County?
Yeah, it's huge for us. We want to make sure it's the entire valley, and getting over to Cameron County is always something we really focus on. And when this opportunity came up that we could, have these 2 great matches over there with the clinic, it was a very easy decision for us to do it and have a lot of fun with it and showcase what's one of the better tennis centers in the state of Texas as well in the process at the HEB Tennis Center. Harlingen's done a very, very good job with creating that, and so has RAM. So we're really excited to be there and extend on into Cameron County and constantly be there as much as we can.